Hey guys, so today's class we're going to be going over the new Command website, making sure that your marketing profile is completely set up, and then also making sure that your Command website is live and launched. Then we'll also go over some of the widgets that are available for the new Command website, as well as how to edit existing pages. So to start, I'm just on the Command login screen. And once you guys have this up, you're just going to enter your login information, which is the exact same as your My KW login. And I'm just going to click on sign in. And accept cookies. So this is just the main platform. This is your command platform. To start, we're going to look at the marketing profile. Just make sure that all of that is filled out. So in order to access that, we're going to click on your name on the top right-hand corner. And then we're going to select settings from this drop-down list. Once this page loads, these are all of the integrations that are available to you on command. We're actually going to be clicking on Connect Settings, which is right on the left-hand side. And then you'll see Marketing Profile nestled right underneath. We're going to click on Marketing Profile. So the first thing that you'll see is your picture. This is going to be where you can add your headshot, or if you guys have a team photo, that's where you guys can add that there. You do want to make sure that the picture is a square. It doesn't necessarily have to be 360 by 360, but it does need to be cropped to a perfect square in order for it to fit within that circle. If it's not cropped to a square, it will still let you add it, but you'll notice that the picture is usually distorted. Scrolling down a little bit, we also have the team logo. This is exactly where your team logo will go. If you guys don't have one, you can use the KW logo. Again, you do want to make sure that this is particularly a square, as it's going to feed to your mobile app that way. If you're not using your mobile app, you can put a non-square logo into this section, and it will show up properly on your website. However, it may be distorted on your mobile app that you're sharing as the consumer app. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have your name, first and last name, and you'll see that these have red asterisks, so they are required. Your license number, you can add that in as well. If you're dual licensed, you can also put that information in here. So say if you're with Massachusetts and Florida, you can put MA number, and then your license number, FL number, and then your license number. And then you also have your team name. If you're not a part of a team, you would want to put either your name there, or some agents have put their name with Keller Williams Realty, as this is actually going to be the name, or essentially the title of your drop-down list on your website, which I'll show you guys where that's physically going to be pulling from later as well. So you'll have another chance to add something in here. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have your professional job title. We have digital marketer for both designations and job title, but you may have realtor. Make sure that you have the actual realtor with the designated R. And then you would also, depending on your board, if they want you to have real estate professional or licensed real estate professional, whatever your board requires, that's what you would want to put for your professional job title. Designations, if you guys have any other designations or credentials, that's where you can notate them here in order for them to populate on your website. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have your bio. You'll notice here that our bio has page breaks. We have it separate, essentially set up, formatted the way that we want it to show up on our website. Going through this process, there are a couple of sections that aren't going to show up like this. As long as your formatting is correct here, it will pull through to the other platforms that we'll be working on today. The preview may not show it, but as long as it's formatted here, you guys are golden once it actually shows live on your website. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our contact information. So we have our mobile number and office number, which are both mandatory. Fax number if you have one on file. We have email address. This can be any email address that you're using for your Keller Williams business. Doesn't necessarily have to be your KW email. Whatever email you want on your marketing materials, you'd want to make sure that is there. And then we have your website URL. This is essentially whatever website you're going to be using on marketing materials. So today we're going to be setting up the Command website. However, if you're currently using a third party and want to remain using that third party for now, you can put that URL in here. You do want to make sure that you have HTTP or HTTPS and then semicolon //. What that does is it actually makes your website clickable on your office's website. So if someone goes to your office website, it will actually allow them to click on your profile and then come to this website. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have the Market Center logo. If your office does have a specific logo, you can add that in here. If not, you can add in the generic KW logo. That's completely fine as well. And you'll notice here that it does look a little bit wonky. However, on the website, it does pull the entire logo. And I'll show you guys that as well. This one does not have to be a perfect square. Then you have your Market Center name on the right-hand side. So we have Keller Williams Realty. If you guys have a specific name for your Market Center or your brokerage, you guys can put that in here. Brokerage phone number. Again, these numbers should essentially match. Market Center brokerage address. You'll notice the physical street address is first, and then you have city, state, and zip underneath. And then you have your brokerage license number, which is not mandatory, but if you have it on file, you can definitely add that in. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our compliance section. So you'll see your legal footer text right here. Some offices or some boards may require specific information to be added as your legal footer. We have each Keller Williams office is individually owned and operated. That seems to be the standard. However, if there's additional text that needs to be added, this is where you would paste it, and it will actually show up right on your website for you. Scrolling down a little bit more, you also have your legal footer links. These are more so for anybody who is practicing real estate in the Texas area, as they require these to be added to website, email signature, and all of that. This is the information about brokerage services, consumer protection, and then we have our URL to those PDFs. That being said, if you also have something that you wanted to add to the footer of your website that would be clickable, you can add that here as well. This would essentially be the text that will populate, and then you have your clickable link on the right-hand side. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have the legal footer images. So these are going to show up again right at the bottom of your website. They are very small, so depending on what you're adding there, you would just want to preview your website first to make sure it's populating the way that you want it to. But if you have, for example, the realtor logo, some boards require their logo to be added to your website. If that's the case, this is where you would do that. You can upload it right from your computer. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our social media section. So these are going to be all of the URLs to your social media platforms. So each one of these URLs would pull up our specific profile. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you go to that URL, it's the actual profile for Scott LeRoy Marketing. You would want to make sure that the URL brings up your profile, or if you're on a team, it brings up your team's profile. That being said, you also want to make sure that these are hyperlinked, so you want to make sure that they have that HTTPS semicolon //. Again, it's just going to make them clickable from your website. That way your client doesn't actually have to copy and paste anything. They can click it directly. It brings them right to your page. And I'll show you guys where these populate on the website as well. If you guys don't have these now, you can always come in and add them in later, and it will automatically update on your website for you. So if you don't have them available now, no problem. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have the Facebook Pixels Facebook Pixel and ads, and then Google Analytics. We do have videos that go over how to set these up specifically. They're just going to allow both Google Analytics and Facebook Pixels to essentially just track what you're doing on your website and through the command platform. So if you guys are looking to have those added, we do have separate videos that go over how to actually set that up for you. Last but not least, we have our branded app link. So this is essentially just the link that brings us to our mobile app. You do want to make sure that that is added there. And if you guys don't know where this is, I can show you guys where to grab that as well. It's going to be right through the next section that we'll be on, so you can always come back in here and paste it in. If you guys have updated anything here, you want to make sure that you're clicking save. And then you should just get a pop-up essentially just letting you know that everything has been saved and that it's being updated on your marketing profile. We can X out of that. The last thing that you want to do on this page before we jump into the consumer section is going to be to make sure that your toggle switch on the top right-hand corner is green. If it's showing up as being gray, like this, it means that none of your information is being shared to the website platform. So when you actually make your website live, it's not going to have any of the branding that you just updated. So we want to make sure we click that. You'll get a compliance reminder, and then just click acknowledge and continue, and it will mark it as being green for you. So you just want to make sure, again, that this is toggled so that little circle is green. Once you guys have updated that, we're just going to go right into the consumer section. And it used to be sites. It's the exact same button. They just renamed it. So it's in the same location. We're just going to click on consumer. Now we're going to click on agent site pages. These are the pages that we currently have on the website. However, you may have nothing there. You may only have the 3 pages or the 3 original pages, about me, about us, and contact us. Whatever you guys have here, we're just going to be making sure that everything's pulling over correctly today. So now what we're going to be clicking on is right on the top right-hand corner. You guys should see configure your site, and we're going to be clicking on that in order to go through the Kelly guide. Once we click on that, we get a pop-up. We're going to select the first option. I want to use the new KW agent sites, and then submit. And it should take a second to load. There we go. This is just letting you know what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to be choosing a subdomain, essentially what your URL for your command website is going to be. We're going to go over theme and styling. And then we're also going to be creating those 3 standard pages just by going through this specific platform. So once this page loads, we're just going to click on Get Started. Same compliance reminder that we had on the marketing profile, just reminding you to keep compliance in mind if there's certain logos that your board requires or that your office requires. So we're just going to click on Acknowledge and Continue. And then this should bring you right to the main page. So the first thing that you guys should see is the subdomain section on the right-hand side. This is where you guys can decide what your URL is going to be for your command website. For ours, we have it set up as Scott Leroy Marketing, and then by default, it will end in .kw.com. So this is where you can make changes to your URL. If you guys are changing this now, make sure that you do click Confirm Domain. That way you're just locking it in. And then you should see congrats, you have claimed your subdomain. If you get an error message here saying that somebody else is already using the domain or it's unavailable, you can select something else in order to go through this process. You can always come back here later and change it. This isn't set in stone. Once you guys have confirmed your subdomain, we're just going to click on Marketing Profile Information. And once you guys have clicked on that, you're going to notice that all the information that we just set up on the marketing profile is actually feeding over to this section. So you guys should see your first and last names already in there. You have your market center and brokerage name that we added in the marketing profile populating now. We have our office address. And then we have our team or business name. So this is the one that I mentioned earlier. If you don't have a team or a business name, you may want to put your name as an agent. And I'll pull up our website so I can show you guys exactly where that feeds to. So that will actually be right here. So for example, if you leave that blank, this will just say your agent. So if you guys want it to say your name or Keller Williams Realty, your name with Keller Williams, whatever you guys want, but that's where that's going to feed to. If you have a team name, you can definitely put your team name there. But if not, leaving it blank will just let it say your agent. So once you guys have added that, scrolling down a little bit more, we have the digital or your professional job title. We still have digital marketer. You guys should essentially have realtor, real estate agent, real estate professional, whatever your board and office require. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our email address and our office number, our mobile number, and this should all have been pulling from the marketing profile for you. And then biography, you'll notice it's still spaced accordingly and we still have all of our formatting. We have our agent license number, all of our compliance information pulled over. So we have our compliance footer, we have our brokerage license number, office number, and then our links that we added from our marketing profile are all still here. If you added any images for the legal footer images, those should be populating here as well. Scrolling down to imagery, we have our headshot, as you can see, is a perfect square. We have our logo, which now is populating correctly. And then we have our team logo, our team header, also square and also populating correctly. Scrolling down to social media, we have all of our URLs that we added on our marketing profile. They're all showing up here. And then the KW app link, that should actually be pulling whatever your app link is. So even if you did not copy and paste it in, you should still have your app link here. We do not have an app link. We are not licensed real estate agents, so ours looks a little bit funny, but you should have a full link populating here. If not, by all means, just let us know, and we can always take a look and make sure that the correct app link is updated on all platforms for you. Once you guys have all of that information added, you're just going to want to make sure that you scroll down towards the bottom and click on Save and Continue. And you'll notice all your information is populating as well on the preview. Once you guys click Save and Continue, that will bring you right over to our next section, which is going to be Style and Theme. The first thing that you're going to see on the right-hand side is you essentially have two themes that you can pick from. You have the KW red theme and the dark theme. Red is essentially just going to apply to the default logo. So this would essentially be the red and the gray. And then if you click the dark theme, it will default to the black and gray. We actually manually added this logo in, which is why it's the gray option. But you guys can toggle with this and see which one you essentially would rather use. You can also update this anytime. So if you come in here at a later date, you can toggle back and forth between the two. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our homepage text. This is the text that's populating right across the main page of the screen. Right now it's set up as for all your real estate needs. So it's essentially populating right above the search bar where your clients can look for properties. And you guys can edit that accordingly. If you guys have a catchphrase or a slogan that you want there, you can add that in. Scrolling down a little bit more, these usually take a few minutes to load as well, so don't panic, but these are called hero images, which are essentially just the images that are on the background of your website. So this is kind of like the slideshow that's going across the background of your website. You have 5 slots, and there are currently 5 stock photos provided to you by Keller Williams International. These can be completely edited. They can be customized. So you can remove all of these, add in your own stock photos. Just keep the size of the photo in mind. Keller Williams International does recommend that you guys use images that are 1200 by 1200. Unfortunately, that will give you a perfect square. And as you can see, these preview images are rectangular. So by using 1200 by 1200, it does usually make you crop the top and the bottom of the photo. So we've noticed that if the picture is more along the lines of 1200 by 800 or 1200 by 600, it will tend to fit into this rectangular view. So if you guys do have background images or any stock photos that you want to use, just make sure that they're more of a horizontal rectangle. That way they will fit into this preview for you. And all you would need to do is delete your original stock photos, and you'll just click on the upload button, and that will allow you to add your own background images. If you guys are updating any of those right now, you're just going to want to come down to the bottom and click Save and Continue. Moving on to the next page, this is actually going to be your company profile page. So what we're going to start with is navigation. And what this is showing you is in what order pages are going to be populating on your website. So for all of you that are starting with your website today, you guys haven't set it up previously or added any custom pages, all this is letting you know is that on your drop-down list of your website, your company profile will be first, About Me will be second, and Contact Us will be third. You can always move these around as well, just by dragging and dropping based on whatever order you'd like. However, this is not the only place that you'll have access to edit this. I'll be showing you an additional location later, but just so you guys can see, it's showing you where they're going to populate on here. So in other words, if Contact Us is last, it essentially just means Contact Us will be last, About Me, and company profile. So you guys can update that here as well. Moving down to the next section is search engine optimization. This is where we're going to select our page title. So that's going to be what the page is going to be called, again, on that drop-down list. So this one we have labeled as company profile right now. Jumping back to my website, we have company profile. So that's how that's going to populate there. If you wanted to put team profile, then it would say team profile right here. So once you guys select a company profile title, whatever you guys want to label this, this is essentially a page that we're going to be able to add custom information to. You have your slug. This is what will be your URL. So in other words, our website is scottliverymarketing.kw.com. Our slug would make this /about-us. So if I were to share this full URL with someone, it will bring them directly to my company profile page. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our SEO description. This is going to be the verbiage that would show up if somebody were to Google your website. So if you guys have ever gone to Google and you use it as search engine, you pull up a website, that little synopsis right underneath the title of the URL, learn more about real estate or whatever you guys are Googling, that little synopsis underneath it, that's what you would put here for SEO description. Essentially a description of your website. Scrolling down a little bit more, we're going to get into content. Now we have our page header. That's what's populating right here. So again, if you changed your page name, you may want your page header to match. If not, you can change them, edit them, but that's where this is going to feed to. You then have your header image. This is the background image right here. The recommended size is 2000 by 500. That will actually give you this long rectangle. So you do want to make sure that you're following the recommended size. You can also upload your custom one, or you can use this one as well. You have your intro paragraph. That's going to be the verbiage that will populate right at the top of your page. Then you have headline 1, paragraph 1, which you have populating right here. And then we have a stock photo, which is a perfect square. So if you are replacing that, you do want to make sure that it is a perfect square. Doesn't necessarily have to be 360 by 360, but you do want to make sure that it's cropped to be a square or it will distort it. And that's the same moving down here as well. You have your headline, your title right here, or your headline and your paragraph right here. And then you also have another stock image. Again, this one would need to be square as well. So for this, what some teams are doing is they're putting in team information, maybe individual brokerage information, anything along those lines. You guys have access to add that in here. Scrolling down right towards the bottom, we have our footer title, which usually you can put interested in buying or selling real estate, and then footer paragraph. A lot of agents are putting contact me today with contact information. So again, you guys can also remove this. The footer title is not required, so you can even just wipe that out completely. Scrolling down, once you guys have made your edits, we're just going to click on continue. This is going to be the About Me page. We're going to click on navigation again. So now we can see that About Me is going to be nestled right underneath Company Profile. So again, on our drop-down list, we'll have Company Profile, About Me, and then Contact Us. Search Engine Optimization, which is right underneath. We have our page title. So this is what our page is going to be labeled on that drop-down menu. Then we have our slug. So again, our URL is scottlavroymarketing.kw.com, and then the / about-me is going to bring people directly to this page. Then we have our SEO description. Again, just the description on this specific page that we can add so when people are Googling our websites. Once you have that information added, we have content, which is right underneath. This information should be pulling from the marketing profile that we did earlier. However, if you want to customize the page title, maybe you're doing team information, you want to put about us, you can update that. We have our title, digital marketer at Scott LaRoy Marketing. You guys can edit this. You can put realtor with Keller Williams, or if you have a team name, whatever you want there. Bio title, we have about Scott LaRoy. You can also edit this if you only want your first name. You can remove that, and you'll see on the left-hand side, anything that you edit on the right-hand side should be populating on your preview section. Moving down to the bio, this is the section that I had mentioned earlier. Even though you're seeing the formatting here, the preview is not showing that. However, once we make this page live and we finish this template that we're going through right now, it will show up with the formatting in this section. So you see how we have our mission statement, and then we have a gap, and then we have our actual mission statement. All of this will show up like that on the live page, which I'll show you guys as well. So as long as your formatting still looks correct in the bio text box, it will show up correctly on the live page. The preview, for some reason, does not show the formatting. Scrolling down right underneath the bio, we have contact title. So it's going to say contact Scott. That's populating right here. Then we have our phone number and our email. Just double check and make sure that those pulled over correctly from your marketing profile. It should be your mobile number and whatever email address you have on file in your marketing profile. Once you've confirmed that, we're just going to click on continue. And this is the last page that will actually be set up through this template. So this is the contact section. This is essentially the contact us section. You guys can label this however you'd like. Navigation, we still have contact us is now going to be our last page. Coming down to search engine optimization, same thing as before, our page title. So on our actual drop-down list on our menu is going to be contact us. Then we have our slug, so scottlavroymarketing.kw.com / contact. And then our SEO description has already been added, so contact Scott LaRoy Marketing today for all of your digital marketing needs. Once you guys make sure that that's populating the way you'd like, we're just going to click on content. Our page header is set up as contact your SLM team, and you'll notice that's essentially just the headline of the page. You guys can customize that however you'd like. Intro paragraph, you guys can put anything in regards to real estate, or if you guys have team information, catchphrase, slogan, that can also go there. We always respond via phone or email in less than 10 minutes. And then we have the message hint. So this is actually what's going to populate right here for your clients. So in other words, if there's a certain piece of information that you're looking for, are you looking to buy or sell? What's your time frame? Where are you in your search? What is your budget? It just kind of gives your contacts an idea as to what you're looking for in that section. Then last but not least, make sure that your phone number and your email are again the correct mobile number and email address that you have on file. This should be pulling over from the marketing profile again, but just confirm that everything's spelled correctly, as these will populate right on the bottom of the contact us section. Once you've confirmed that, you can click on save and continue. And this may take a second because it's actually building your website for you. Once you're brought to this page, what we're going to click on is manage sites. That way we can go back, make sure everything's live. We can take a look at everything. So now here you guys should have your 3 pages. You should have about me or about us, about me, and contact us. So some of our pages were created previously, so our dates are a little bit different, but you guys should now have 3 pages here. So again, about us, about me, and contact us. What I'm going to show you guys how to do now is just add some of the custom widgets that are available on the Command website right now. So once you guys are on this screen, we're just going to click on create a new site in the top right hand corner. Once you get this pop-up, we're going to click on my agent site. And then we're going to click on create page. This is how you're going to be able to add additional pages outside of those first 3 to your website. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just label it. So whatever you're planning on doing for this page. What I'm going to be showing you guys right now is how to actually add the testimonial leave a review page. So I'm going to label it just that. So I'm going to put testimonial leave a review. Once I have my title added, I'm going to come right over here to the widgets. So these are all of the widgets that are available to you guys right now. And I'm just going to grab the testimonial capture form. So I'm going to click it and I'm just going to drag and drop it onto my blank slate. Once you guys have done that, you should see that the widget has not yet been configured and it should have this gray overlay on it. What we're actually going to be doing is configuring that widget, which will then make it a live page for us. So on the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to click on Configure Widgets. And then we'll click on Testimonial Capture. And then we're going to add our information. So for the team name, I'm going to put Scott Leroy Marketing. If you don't have a team name, you can put your name, whatever your agent name is, or if you guys husband and wife team or whatever you guys want to put there. What this is essentially going to feed to is you'll see right here, and I'll update it too, right towards the bottom, would you recommend Royal Realtors? It's actually going to put your name there. So if you guys put, would you recommend Scott Leroy Marketing? Would you recommend John Smith? Whatever you put in this box is what's going to populate here and replace Royal Realtors. Back towards the top, we're just going to update our headline. Right now, it's just set up as headline text. I'm going to put leave a review. The description, I'm going to leave as is. However, you can customize this. The description is what's populating right underneath the headline text. So you'll see, thank you for being a valued client. That piece of verbiage right there, I'm just going to leave that as is. Again, you guys can customize this accordingly. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have our review headline. How would you rate your experience? I'm going to leave that as is. Again, you guys can customize this however you'd like. That's going to populate right above the stars. The last section is going to be the review placeholder text, which you can't actually see, but it's in this box right now, and it's essentially just letting them know how was your experience with your agent, how did they help you through each stage. So it's just a synopsis in regards to what you're looking for in the review. I'm going to leave that as is. However, if there's something specific you want to type there, it's going to essentially show up as light gray text in the review section. Once you guys have added all of that information, if you just click on save and apply, and you can still make edits after this as well. But what save and apply will do is it's just going to apply the edits that we've already done. So you'll see now I have Scott Leroy Marketing, I have my leave a review headline, Scott Leroy Marketing is now populating down at the bottom. But if you come back in and say, you know what, I don't want an exclamation point, I can remove it, scroll back down, click save and apply, and it will update it for me. Just so you can see exactly what it's going to look like. Once you guys have this looking the way that you want it to, we're going to come right back up to the top, and we're just going to click on Save Changes, which is actually going to make this a page. Once you guys get this pop-up, it's just letting you know that it's going to make this a page. This will be visible to others, so we're just going to click on Yes. Once you guys have saved your page, you should now see it populating right at the top. However, you'll notice that the I is actually grayed out, meaning that it's not an active page yet. So if we look on the one beneath it, the About Us that we just created previously, it has a teal I, which means that it's clickable and it's a live page. This one is not yet live. So what we're going to do is now go ahead and make the testimonials leave a review page live. So we're going to do that by clicking on Site and App Settings. Once we're on this page, we're just going to click on Site Pages. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to click on Add Page. Once we have that, we're going to select the page that we just created. So I have testimonials, leave a review. This is why it's important to title any pages that you guys create. That way you can tell them apart when you go to make them live. So I'm going to select my page, and I'm just going to click on Continue. Once you've done that, you just need to add in the information. So for page title, I'm going to put leave a review. For my slug, I'll do the same thing, leave a review. So spaces cannot be used in the slug, so I'm just using dashes. For my SEO description, I'm going to put let us know about your experience working with Scott Leroy Marketing. And then once you guys have your SEO description added, we're just going to click on Save Page. You guys should get that green ribbon that says settings were successfully updated. And now that should be the last tab on our website. So let me just refresh our page. On our drop-down list, now we have leave a review. So once you guys have that page added, if you actually go to your website, and I can show you guys where to grab that URL as well. If we click on Agent Site Pages, your URL should be right here, and that's just confirming what your subdomain was set up earlier, that your site is live. All of that should be available right here for you. So once you guys have your site live and you open that up, we can go to our drop-down list. We can click on Leave a Review, And now if you guys have existing testimonials, you can actually come in here and add these in. That way they'll populate on your website. So if you have testimonials that maybe a client sent over to you via email, or maybe they were on the Playster website previously, or the eEdge website, the eAgency website, or even a third-party website altogether, you can actually grab those testimonials and then add them here. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that. That way you know how to actually grab them from the back end of Command and get them added to your website. So coming in here, put Mickey, just type my information in, first and last name, address, I'm just going to put Sarasota, Florida, client since, we'll do 2020. Now the information that's being added, you don't have to have all of this populate. So in other words, if you have a first name, a last name, address, client since, and you don't want maybe address and client since to populate, you do have to add it originally. So you can just put not available. You can put whatever year for client since, and we can essentially uncheck that once it comes time to making this live. So it is mandatory when you're filling everything out, but we can hide it before it goes on your website. Once you guys have the basics added, you do want to make sure that you click your 5 stars. And then we have our review. So we have our review. And once you guys have this added, it's going to allow you to actually preview the testimonial. So we have, would you recommend? Yes, we have our actual testimonial added, 5 stars, all of the required pieces of information. Then we're going to click on preview testimonial. And you'll see exactly how it's going to populate. So once we do that, we're going to click submit. We have our green ribbon saying that it's been submitted. Now what I can do is I can come back into Command. I'm just on my agent sites pages again. If you're not back here yet, just make sure that you click back on consumer. And then back onto agent site pages once that loads. And that's where we are right now. Once you guys are back here, we're going to click on create a new site. We're going to click on my agent site again, create page. In this one, we're just going to label testimonials. Once you guys have your page labeled, we're just going to grab the testimonials widget. There are 2 available. The carousel is almost like a moving slideshow carousel of your testimonials. The testimonials list is literally, it's going to give you a formatted list of all of your testimonials. I'm going to use the list option today, but you can use either or. They both work the exact same. So I'm just going to grab my widget, drag and drop it right onto my blank slate. And just like before, we should see widget not configured. It should have that gray overlay because we haven't configured it yet. Once you guys have done that, we're just going to click on configure widgets in the bottom right-hand corner. We'll click on our testimonial list. And we're going to give it a headline. So I'm just going to put testimonials. Intro text is going to be the little synopsis right underneath your title. So I'm just going to put what our clients have to say. You guys can put anything here. You guys can label it reviews, testimonials, whatever you guys want. This is completely customizable. Once you guys have that information added, right beneath that, this is where we're going to be able to edit what shows up. So this is what I was mentioning before when adding all of that information. We have first name, last name, city, client since, and neighborhood all checked off. If you don't want that to populate, you can just uncheck it. So if we uncheck this information, we have our testimonials right underneath. We have 3 because 2 were left previously. So we have our 3 testimonials. Once I click save and apply, it's going to show me how those are going to populate. So right now I just have my first name and my last initial populating. Maybe I add my city and my neighborhood, click save apply again, and it will show me where these people were from, or essentially where it was added. If you add client since as well, save and apply, it will give me the years in which we had worked together. So you guys can essentially dictate which piece of information populates on your testimonials page. Once you guys have the information selected that you want to populate, you select all of your current testimonials. You want to make sure, again, you click save and apply. That way all of those populate. Make sure they're populating correctly on the preview. Once you've done that, we're just going to click on Save Changes. Once this box comes up, we're just going to click on Yes in order to make it a live page. And then the same thing as before, we're now seeing it as our top page, but it's not live yet. So we're going to have to make this one live as well. We're just going to go into Site and App Settings again. Then we're going to click on Site Pages. And then we'll do the exact same thing as before. We'll just click on our Add Page button. And now we're going to click our testimonials page. Again, very important to be labeling these just so you know which page is which when you're making them live. Then we'll click continue once we have our page selected. And then I'm going to label this one testimonials. I'll do my slug the same. And then I'll just put see what our clients have to say as my SEO description. Again, you guys can put whatever you want here. You guys can also label them differently if you want to call them reviews or whatever you'd like. Once you have all of your mandatory information added, we're just going to click on Save Page Changes. You'll get your green ribbon again saying settings were updated successfully. Then I'm going to go back into my website. I'll refresh it. And now when I click on my drop-down list, I have my testimonials available. So now I can click on testimonials. And the first time you go to it, it does take a second to load. So if it looks wonky and squishes it, that's normal. It does usually take a couple seconds. Let's see if I refresh it. It should speed it up. There we go. So it does usually just take a second. That's usually the first or second time that you go to the page. You won't see that every time. It's only the first or second time. So now that you have your testimonials, they're all populating here and all of your information saved. As testimonials do come in, you would need to actually go in and either recreate this page or edit the page. So I'm just going to show you guys how to edit an existing page. So say you're working with John Smith, he just left another testimonial, you want to make sure it pulls up on your website. This is how you would essentially be able to do that. So once you guys have this page created, go back to Command. We're actually going to click on the Designs icon. Kind of looks like a sketch pad and a pencil. Once you click on that, this is going to pull up all of your designs. We've been working on our website today, so all of the newer sites are pulling up for us. But if you are coming back a couple weeks later with a new testimonial, you're just going to click on Agent Site. Once you click on Agent Site, you're going to see all of your pages. We have a lot right now. We have 130 that are backed up. But that being said, you guys should see any pages that you've created on your website. Even if you removed them from being live, even if you deleted them, you should still have a carbon copy back here. So what I'm going to click on is testimonials. That way I can refresh that page and pull over any new testimonials I might have. So I'm just going to click on my testimonials page. Once you guys are seeing this, we're going to do the exact same thing that we did before and just click on configure widgets on the bottom right-hand side. We don't need to drag and drop any widgets because it's already there. It's already labeled, but we're just going to click on configure widgets. Then I'm going to click on testimonials list again. It's going to pull up the exact same screen we just had. So now any new testimonials that were added would just be dropped right into the selected testimonial section where you can either select it. For this point, I'm just going to unselect one so I can show you guys that it populates differently on the website. But say, again, John Smith leaves you another testimonial. You can come right in here, select the new testimonial, click save and apply. It will update right on your preview for you. One thing I will recommend is maybe just adding a 2 to your title, or new or updated, anything along those lines. Your clients won't see this. This is more so just for you when you're going to make it live. That way you know that you're making the right testimonials page live. So this is my edited page. I clicked save and apply. My edits are showing up. I've renamed it, and I'm just going to click on save changes on the top right-hand corner. Then we get our pop-up again. I'm just going to click on yes. And now it brings you right back to the same section that we were working with earlier, right underneath consumer. So these are all my agent site pages. And now you'll see that I have testimonials. This is the one that's currently live, which would be missing my new testimonial. And then I have testimonials 2. That's the one that we just edited. So now what I can do in order to make that live is I can actually just replace this page with my new one. So I'm going to click on site and app settings again. I'll go back into site pages. And then I'm actually just going to click on the testimonials, these 3 little dots next to testimonials. And I'm going to click select page. Once I click on that, I'm just going to select my testimonials 2, and I'll click continue. Once you've done that, we're just going to make sure that we save changes. So save page changes on the bottom left-hand corner. Got our green ribbon. So now I can come back to my website, make sure that this page populates correctly. Perfect. So now that testimonial that I removed is no longer there. Now I only have my 2 testimonials. Now for you guys, you would be adding a new testimonial, so you should see your new one, but just so you guys can see how it updates, how it populates, and how to edit, we removed one of our testimonials. So now once you guys have done that, you're all set. The last thing that I want to show you guys is just how to reorganize your drop-down list. This was the second section that you guys actually have access to edit that. So for example, to start, we have our about SLM. If I want contact us last, I can just click on these dots, drag and drop them, and it will allow me to rearrange my entire drop-down list. Once you rearrange them, you do need to click save page changes in order for it to reflect on your website. So now that I've clicked save, if I come back to my website and just refresh it, now my drop-down list has contact us last. I have my new testimonials, leave a review, and my orders adjusted. You also have all of your clickable social media URLs that we added earlier to both the marketing profile and the website. That's where those will populate, right at the bottom of your drop-down list. So that is how you guys set up your command website. That's how you guys can add testimonials. And that's also how you guys can go back and edit existing or original pages. So if you guys need anything else, definitely don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can email us at support@scottlivremarketing.com, and we can take a look at your website or assist with adding anything that you may be having questions on. And thanks for joining us for class.